going to be big enough for everything.
And in North Carolina, an outdoor tent wedding is no laughing matter.
What was the word she said? She was appalled. Appalled by the size of it. By the size of the tent.
Coming up on Whose Wedding Is It Anyway?
It's not really a little space.
Okay.
You only have this one day to express yourself.
How much per person?
And some of these brides, I mean, especially the wacky ones, will call you like 12 times a day.
Just keep my mother away from me.
They want to talk about things like a shade of peach.
No. This is not what I ordered.
I know. I will fix it.
North Carolina couple Amity and Michael were a romance several years in the making.
When I was a young resident training at the hospital, I met a nurse at the hospital named Jane.
They should have married each other.
That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work.
I would make up more reasons to go over and hang out with Jane, and it was really kind of to go to see this girl, Amity, who was paying me no attention whatsoever.
I was dating somebody else.
She was dating somebody else, so she was definitely not paying me any attention. And so my old roommate, Robert, who's one of my groomsmen, every time I'd get in the car and I would say, oh man, that Amity girl is so awesome. And in keeping with being such a good friend, would say, yeah, I agree with you, and you have absolutely no chance of ever dating that girl.
But Dr. Michael, Ferg to his friends, silenced the naysayers and continued his pursuit of the fair Amity.
Once Amity was a free woman, she also decided that maybe I wasn't quite as big a dork as she had thought I was, and that was it.
A happy ending to a dorky beginning that has propelled this couple into their next phase, marriage.
I want an atmosphere that is really reflective of my style. I would say our style, but it would mainly be my style.
The style that I've adapted to enjoy.
But even though Ferg agrees with everything, he can also agree about another fact when it comes to planning their $80,000 Southern wedding.
I love Amity with all of my heart, and I look forward to spending every waking moment of the rest of my life with this wonderful woman, but she is not a very good planner. I know, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Basically, she's looking for whites and creams and green. Her colors.
So the wedding planner the couple chose to keep their spending under control and plans on track is North Carolina powerhouse Karen Clark. And Karen is a planner who loves seeing a vision come together, as her fresh ideas and energetic attitude are the perfect combination for any couple looking to keep their wedding under control.
Every wedding is different, so you get to come up with different ideas for everyone.
And control is just what this couple needs, because this bride is sure to keep Karen on her toes.
She's a very, very laid-back bride, and very much a prankster. She's on more than one occasion called me going, Karen, I'm so stressed about the budget. And I'm like, really? What's wrong? Talk to me. And she's like, ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. What are the 3 most important elements to your wedding?
Why don't you say what your 3 are and I'll say what my 3 are and see if they're the same?
Why don't you go first?
Because then you'll just agree with mine.
I think that's a good plan. You're going first. Food is, I think food is absolutely...
Am I going first?
I wanted to get one right.
Amity's humor lightens the mood, but she is also quite serious about the look and feel of the big day.
I hate the buffet stand, like where you have like 30 people standing in line.
So that means that we're leaning away from the plated meal, maybe heavy hors d'oeuvre food stations scattered around the property.
Looks like Karen has Ferg's priority 1 solved. But what about 2 and 3?
Okay, so that's your top one. What are your next
Food,
2?
food, and food.
And a beautiful bride.
Yeah, and that's what I say. Our sincerest, everlasting love would obviously be number 3. What are your 3?
I think my number 1 actually would be theme. I think.
Ooh, I missed that.
I know. Is this gonna work?
I don't know.
I think it would be theme. I think the tents and the lighting and the friends and where things are set up and just to have it all sort of come together.
Are there things that you've seen at weddings that you absolutely positively don't want to see at yours?
Large ice swans might be something that
dancing.
Oh yeah.
Macarenas and...
Yeah, no Macarenas, no electric slides. We're trying to keep it as cheeseless as possible.
No cheese is the plan, but what about their huge guest count?
We are inviting quite a few people.
I think probably somewhere in the neighborhood of a 300 to 350 person reception.
350 guests outdoors is no easy chore and presents some technical issues too.
We're probably going to have to bring in generators, lighting, Or, we're going to have to rent all these tents, tables, chairs, china, linens.
I think we just want to be as cautious as we can with our budget as possible. We understand that it's hard to do 300-person wedding and not spend money, but we just don't want to be ridiculous.
I just don't want to take you to the rental facility and y'all go into cardiac arrest in the middle of the floor.
Well, I am a doctor, so if that does happen, so I'm just kidding.
Coming up, Amity and Karen are not on the same page.
It's not really a little space.
Okay.
In North Carolina, Karen and bride Amity are touring the couple's wedding location to get the lay of the land. And there is a lot of land. The couple chose the field as a means to accommodate their enormous 350-person guest count. But because it's a field in the middle of nowhere, everything will have to be brought in to make a wedding from scratch.
I wanted to bring my dogs and lock them in there so I could just go and say hi.
The couple envisioned multiple tents to create the feel of different rooms.
So now explain, is this lounge tent? Or?
No, this is main tent.
A fun idea, but Karen has her work cut out for her to bring it all to life.
And then off to the side, on either side, we'll do the lounge tents.
And where would stage and music?
Under the tent.
Under that tent?
Yes.
How big is that tent?
Oh, it's huge.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's 60 by 70. So it's pretty big.
Well, Karen sounds like she has the tent situation under control, but Amity is still not so sure.
Yeah, I just can't believe that tent is going to be big enough for everything.
Oh, yeah.
To have the dance floor on, too? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
So it's time to take a closer look.
Wow, that does not look that big to me. How big is the dance floor?
The dance floor is, I want to say it's 20 by 20.
What is that?
It's plenty big.
Really? Mm-hmm. All in that little space?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's not really a
Have you
little
done this
space.
before? Okay.
Yeah.
The jokes lighten the mood, but Amity is still not laughing about the tent.
See, what I'm worried about is the dancing. Like, I want ample dancing room.
Yeah.
And if there is, then...
Well, and then you've got to remember that we're not going to have 300 people dancing at one time.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Groom Michael said his 3 top priorities are food, food, and food. And today his priorities are the focus as the couple chooses a menu.
This is a sampling of the fried green tomatoes with the roasted corn and crab salad.
Excellent.
Just a nice little flavor of cilantro, not like overpowering.
But will the cilantro garnish be to everyone's liking?
Ferg hates cilantro.
I liked
Everyone
that.
likes cilantro.
I liked that.
Actually, I didn't like cilantro until like about 5 years ago. I thought it tasted like soap, but I love it now.
Like soap?
Yeah.
Hopefully there will be no soapy tastes in the next batch.
Is this a one-biter?
Actually, if it's 2-biter, probably, unless you've got a really large mouth. This is the lobster cheesecake, a little round of sushi.
Okay, where's the cart that's going to truck us all out of here after we finish this tasting?
The tasting is a huge success, and Ferg can't get enough.
You gonna eat yours?
But all the delicious choices are adding up to a tasty tab. 350 guests are a lot of mouths to feed, so some things have to go, or go over budget.
If we're looking at budget, which is definitely still an issue because we're a little over budget, cheesecakes, I think, are more appetizer-ish than meal-ish.
Put a gun to my head, made me choose which of those things to leave out. It would be the cheesecakes. So that's why we're getting married, because I agree with you completely.
That's probably the least expensive of all the stations.
What would the difference be in trimming everything except these? Because I think these are exceptionally good.
Well, we can just limit these. We just don't like free pour it all night long, but just limit the amount we're going to do there.
It's our first wedding, we didn't know.
You didn't know. You didn't know.
We'll do better the next time.
I'll do better the next time because you'll never do any better than me.
In North Carolina, there's no hiding Karen's concern over the massive tent project. Amity's worries over size and space have gotten the wheels turning. So it's a meeting with the site coordinator to get everything mapped out.
This is 70, long way.
So we talked about putting the band and the DJ over here in this area. And dance floor's in the middle, and then all of our tables underneath the tent, right?
And then there's plenty of room for walking area.
Right.
So you've got 150 people seated. Mm-hmm. You've got all this walking space, and then you've got the 2 16 by 16 tents.
Mm-hmm. So
if you want to take this and show Amity, this is still very flowing, not tight.
So her fears about the tent being too small, we can put those to rest. And then as far as the 16 by 16 dance floor is concerned, that's plenty of room for dancing.
Sounds like Amity's concerns are nothing to worry about, but cautious Karen triple checks.
I totally trust y'all. I guess she just assumed when she walked up and saw the tent and saw, you know, she's like, gosh, that looks really small. Is everything gonna fit?
Did she go underneath it?
No, because they were actually, they were
Now, if she
putting
had
it
gone
up.
underneath it, she would have gone, oh my gosh, this thing is too big.
And with a budget that needs to stay firm at $80,000, Karen can't take any chances.
If we have to come back in here and add, you know, a 40-wide tent on the side of it,
That will cost us how much?
another $1,000.
We don't want to do that.
And Amity's tent concerns stretch on.
What was the word she said? She was appalled.
Appalled by the size of it.
By the size of the tent because it was too tiny.
In North Carolina, wedding planner Karen Clark is still dealing with the ongoing tent debate. Her bride Amity is still convinced there won't be enough room for their 350 guests.
She was kind of appalled by the size of the tent. She thinks it's way too small. So I know that you'd mentioned earlier that we probably at this date couldn't get a larger tent, but I definitely want to make them happy. So could we add on another tent on the back of this tent, or is that possible? And do you think we could get something that's like 20 by 40 and right, pull everything into that side? Okay, we can make that happen. And when do you think they'll have a chance to deliver that? Great. All right. Yeah, that's really what they want, and we want them to be happy, and you know. Yeah, I know. But they still feel that the tent isn't big enough. Just, yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye.
With tent talk stalled for the moment, it's time for Amity to slip into her wedding dress at her final fitting.
So have you seen this dress before? See, I haven't seen it yet.
I saw her briefly about a week ago, and when I saw her, it just sort of was Amity in a dress. But I'll tell you what happened at work. Somebody came up to me and said, have a good week off, enjoy the wedding.
Yeah.
And I burst into tears.
Oh,
for the first time.
See, you're doing it again.
I know.
So with Mom and Stepmom there to lend support, it's time for the bride to make an appearance.
It is beautiful.
The $3,500 custom-made Laurice Aramuni dress is a break from tradition with its summer feel and light fabric, a fun variation on an old classic.
I love it. Beautiful. It's perfect. It's so you.
I tried to convince Ferg that I was going to wear a pantsuit, but he wouldn't believe me.
You wear your hair down?
Hair down, no glasses.
No veil?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the dress is so, it's so
I think
simple
the
and
dress
pretty
is-
without a veil. You don't need
Yeah. Well, let's hear it for the dressmaker.
But was the applause premature?
You know what? Looking at the end of it, is one end longer than the other?
The dress is slightly off and needs adjusting. But everyone is still very happy.
I love it.
Good. It's you. It's totally you. It really is. Just perfect. Okay.
Further north, the clock is ticking down on Amity and Michael's wedding, and the tent is finally standing. So Karen drops by to check on the space issues.
We're going to have
Now,
marquees.
there is going to be a walkway that's covered.
Mom and assistant Phyllis is there to join in on the planning.
Well, I think the tent is huge, but I know that they were very concerned. What was the word she said? She was appalled.
Appalled by the size of it.
By the size of the tent because it was too tiny.
The most important thing is that they're happy.
No, I
So
want
we've
them to
got
be comfortable.
With the site getting a thumbs up,
Are you so nervous?
Now that we're here, and it's all just sort of...
it's off to the rehearsal where Karen gets things popping.
Could we have everybody's attention, please? We're going to try to make it like really quick and short and painless.
And the audience is getting restless.
So when you get here, we'll tell you exactly where to go and where to sit.
Karen has a lot to say, and one important bridal party member is not following along.
Amity, could you pay attention?
Sorry, it's already bald.
It's not time for that yet.
With Amity on board, it's time to practice getting married.
You go first. Just the first couple of lines. Just
In the name of God, I, Michael, take you, Amity, to be my wife, to have enrolled.
With the wedding scrimmage out of the way, Amity wants to get one final peek at the wedding site to see if her fears can be put to rest. With the maid of honor and Ferg along for support, everyone's fingers are crossed that it all works.
Aren't those cool?
Oh my gosh, the Chinese lanterns.
They'll be all lit up.
Those are beautiful.
You know what? This is big.
Think?
Yeah.
Size isn't the issue, but the dance floor is.
But here's my question.
No, absolutely not.
If they're saying the only place that will fit is in the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't make any sense to me why it can't fit this way.
It can. However, this stuff on the ceiling is your focus.
Yep.
So it's gonna look really freaking weird to have all this in the center and have a dance floor that's like 30 feet away from it.
Okay.
That's gonna look crazy. The feng shui would be all messed up.
Aesthetically, it just doesn't work well.
Yeah.
Coming up, programs go missing in North Carolina.
Are you sure they're in here?
You have them.
In North Carolina, Karen is a planner alone.
It is 2 o'clock. The wedding is in exactly 3 hours, and
There's a ton left to get done. Okay, that's not right. My biggest question right now is where is all of my help?
Finally, some help trickles in,
Hey, Lynn.
and Karen sets them straight.
That's not very professional behavior.
And then Amity's stepmom shows up for an early peek.
I couldn't wait.
I knew you couldn't. That's okay.
I couldn't wait. How are you? It's beautiful.
Karen has a lot of work to get done as Amity and her bridesmaids laugh it
I
up.
have a plastic dress, I have a Daisy Duke blue jean short and shirt set. So should anyone want to change costumes?
Can I have a glass of champagne? 2. Maybe I should slow down on the champagne.
It's minutes before the ceremony in North Carolina, and Ferg is waiting patiently.
Standing around, calm before the storm. I guess I'm just supposed to be back hidden in a room. I don't really know what we're supposed to be doing right now. I guess I shouldn't care. I'm getting married.
While the programs finally make it to the site in the nick of time. Inside, Karen is getting her wedding party lined up.
Ladies, let's go.
And it's a mad dash to get down the aisle. With everybody ready at the starting line, it's time for Amity and Michael to get married.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to witness and celebrate the drawing together of 2 individual lives.
In the name of God, I, Michael, take you, Amity, to be my wife, to love and to cherish until we are parted by death. This is my solemn vow.
With all that is sacred, I, Amity, take you, Michael, to be my husband. This is my solemn vow.
We did it.
Michael? All right, give me a second.
I gave you this ring.
I give you this ring as a symbol of my vow. With all that I am and all that I have, I honor you.
I've been doing
Kiss now?
Yeah, we kissed.
Do that as many times as you want.
A fitting chuckle to this couple with a great sense of humor. Coming up, it's a North Carolina hoedown.
That's some hot stuff, Mama.
I know.
For Amity and Michael, tradition is being thrown to the wind as the couple takes their wedding photos in an old cemetery, as well as foregoing the usual introduction for a less formal but more romantic first dance. The series of tents is an amazing touch as the entire vision came together in this elegant garden party reception. The lounge tent is a rousing success, and there seems to be enough room for everyone, even on the dance floor. It's a spectacular day.
Haha. I've got beer and you
High life. It's a married beer.
My first married beer. No.
Tastes better?
While Ferg enjoys his first married beer, Karen preps the bluegrass band for their rocking wedding performance.
So I just talked to the bride, and she wants to kick it up a little bit earlier.
We're ready to go.
And while the band rocks on and everyone whoops it up under the tent, the bride is breaking more traditions.
So I just talked to Amity, and she does not want to cut the cake at all. She just wants the caterer to cut it and serve it.
Okay, that's fine. It's her day.
And the party continues under the big top.
The wedding is in full swing. Everything looks awesome. The tents look incredible. The bride and groom are pleased with everything. My job is done. I'm heading home.
Around the dinner table, and my dad and her were talking about being practical jokesters midway through the dinner after we talked about that, her grandmother needed to go to the restroom, and so she was nice enough to help her grandmother get up, took her to the restroom, and then
Wait, she's 89 years old.
89 years old, and then she turned the lights off on her and left her in there. And she turns the lights off. She hears her grandmother go, "Oh, Amity." You just hear this little faint voice in the darkness.